Coming up on today's show.
What will make you stay productive? What things can you do that will support you so that when it goes day after day after day after day, because we don't know how long we might be telecommuting, where we might all be working from home, and we still want to get things done.
They got told, the beginning of the week, guess what? Grab a few things and we'll talk to you in 30 days or whatever the length of time, maybe indefinitely for some people. We just really don't know.
So let me talk about, I'm going to pull it down now so I can talk about it. So think about these things that you want to get done in the day, because you have a lot more flexibility now in how your day is going to flow.
Working at home for the first time today on Keeping You Organized. Well, hello, welcome to Keeping You Organized. This might not be your first time here on this podcast, but it may be the first time you are watching or listening to this from home, because in the past few weeks, many people have been sent home to work from home for this coronavirus thing that's happening out there. And so, we want to be here to help you with that, and especially for those of you who are doing this for the first time. So I'm going to bring on Louise Kurzika, everythingstogether.com. Louise, welcome back to Keeping You Organized.
Good morning, John. How are you doing?
Well, good. I feel kind of bad because, you're in the same town. Usually we're in the same studio together, but we'd have to do that social distancing thing, where you'd have to be 6 feet away from me if we were going to record this. So I guess we got to eat our own medicine here and talk about working from home. I'm working from home. As you could tell, the studio here is not quite as elaborate. And I know you've worked from home for a long time, so you're kind of old hat at this, aren't you?
Yeah, I really have. My entire business, I've been home-based. So I've always had some days where my work happened here in my home office, for sure.
Right.
And we laughed how we're in similar circumstances where we set up to do this kind of conferencing. We don't want a lot of distraction around us. So we pick a spot that's better for that than maybe our office is.
Awesome. Well, let's talk today, because we want to focus on those people that are kind of here for the first time. They got told, the beginning of the week, guess what? Grab a few things and we'll talk to you in 30 days or whatever the length of time, maybe indefinitely for some people. We just really don't know. So what are some of the considerations?
And thank goodness for technology that we can do this,
Yes.
that you can be successful at this. And while some people have commuted on a snowstorm day, here and there, or once in a while, they had a day at home because they were sick, but they still kind of worked, but they didn't want to expose their, coworkers to flu a few years ago. So what we want to look at is what will make you stay productive? What things can you do that will support you so that when it goes day after day after day after day, because we don't know how long we might be telecommuting, where we might all be working from home, and we still want to get things done. So I think the place to start with that is to look at the structure. You need to have structure. Every day, if you've gone into an office, there's already kind of a laid out structure there. And I'm not so much talking about time management of your day, so to speak, what you do from this time to that time. But the idea that when you're at home, there are a lot of distractions.
Right.
There might be kids at home with you. There might be a spouse at home also with you during this particular circumstance. And there's things that you can do to be better prepared so that you have a flow for your day and still get things done.
Right. I think there's a tendency when you're at home, you can either work too much or maybe not get in the groove and work too little. So So what do you got for us?
Right. Okay. So first thing I want to look at is setting up a checklist. I'd like to call it that more than a schedule, if you will.
Yeah.
So let me take a look. I see now I'm coming in close, aren't I? here's my, I'll let you get a good shot of that. Can you see that pretty good?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's good right there. Yep.
So let me talk about, I'm going to pull it down now so I can talk about it. So think about these things that you want to get done in the day, because you have a lot more flexibility now in how your day is going to flow. So you have things like emails that you're going to have to do. Well, right now, when we talk to corporate clients, we usually suggest to them, use that first hour of your day as your project focus time. Don't check email. until after you've gotten some work done, because as soon as you get into email, bam. But
Right.
that may not work now. And also, you're not going to have that distraction of people walking by and coming to you, checking out this and that, wanting to catch up. How was your weekend? In that first hour. So you might want to go to emails, because that might have a better indication of where your day is going to flow and what
Right.
needs to be focused on. Priorities
Yeah.
might have changed.
Yeah.
Meetings, planning out meetings. Okay, if I have a meeting at 10:30 and my kids are at home, where am I going to have that meeting? And how am I going to make sure that they're occupied so that they're not going to interrupt my meeting, especially if it's going to be a visual thing like this versus maybe using headphones and your telephone. It's just an audio conference.
Right.
So kind of thinking through that. How about projects? What projects are you going to work on today, and where are you going to work on that? Where's going to be the best location? And then breaks. You need to have breaks in your day, just like you would if you were in the office. But your breaks here might involve some different activity, just because you have the flexibility of being at home. First and number one, exercise.
Mhm.
You're probably not going to get the kind of exercise you normally would get just walking back and forth to different places at work. So it's going to keep you more attuned if you could take a little exercise break. And it'd be great to go outdoors, walk around, maybe take the kids, if the kids are with you, for a walk with you to get some fresh air, and get the adrenaline going. We're all kind of glued to our phones and our televisions for the latest updates. So just
Right.
accept that you're probably going to need a portion of your day to check into that and make sure that, because, okay, I know what the landscape is today. Now I can go on and focus on my work. Otherwise, you're going to be worrying and questions like, what else is new? What else is different? So, acknowledge that and take action. And then I think it's really good to have some de-stressing activities also as part of the breaks in your day. And that might be doing a meditation break, or maybe you do a little yoga, or if nothing else, I've got my little ICD stretch
Yeah.
brain. If I'm
Right.
getting a little okay, left, right, back and forth, just something to recognize, because again, this is a different kind of circumstance. You gotta get used to it.
Right.
I also have on that checklist cleaning your devices and your workspace.
Mhm.
So once a day, make sure that you check that off the list, so that way things are staying clean, and not getting contaminated. And then you may also, if you have kids with you, you may have to figure out kid time.
Mhm.
How's that going to fall into play? What are you going to be doing with them? How are they keeping busy? Are they littler ones? Are they older ones, more self-sufficient? What's the school engagement? All
Right.
of those kind of things. You want to know that before you start your day. Because if you
Right.
jump in and you try to do these things along the day, you're going to be flying by the seat of your pants.
Right. Well, we're going to take a quick break now. I want to go off from that when we come back from the break, because I know like the idea of creating a positive workspace and some of those mental things that are involved. I want to talk about those as well. So we're with Louise Krzyzka, everythingstogether.com, and we're talking about it's your first time working from home, and we'll be right back. The Organized Home Office from MyOrganized.life. When you work from home, your workspace doesn't have to be bland and boring. Brighten up your home office with organizing solutions from MyOrganized.life. It's just for you. MyOrganized.life. MyOrganized.life. We're back now on Keeping You Organized, talking about it's your first time working from home. I mean, everybody just about who's got a non-essential office job or factory job or whatever it is, if you can work from home, companies are saying right now at least, work from home. Now, of course, this will not always be, but I think at Louise Krzyzka, everythingstogether.com, I think we may see some change in work protocol even after all this stuff is done. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're probably right, because some people are going to find they really like this idea,
Right.
that they would rather spend more time from at home, and they may make cases to their management for, hey, I can save you a lot of money if you let me do this here, you know. And we have so many technological tools now that we can talk about when we kind of get into some of the communication piece, that help you be able to still work with teams and get things done, even though you're not necessarily together. You can do it virtually.
Right.
But environment is really important, John. Having the workspace in a positive fashion for you. So for those folks who have a dedicated room in their home called the home office, with desk, with supplies, with all the technology right there, all hooked up, ready to go, don't really have a problem. They might maybe get an extra monitor.
Right.
So they usually use a laptop at home, and they might need a bigger monitor to connect to that laptop to give them more flexibility in looking at documents visually. But they're probably fairly well set. But I'm more concerned about the folks who don't necessarily have a dedicated space.
Right.
They kind of float with their laptop from the kitchen table to the family room to wherever. You need to set up a space.
Right.
It can be as easy as finding a card table or other kind of portable table. They're very inexpensive to find. You probably have one.
Right.
Basement or garage or elsewhere. And if not, borrow one from somebody.
Right.
Make sure that you clean it appropriately before you set it up. But look at some of the things that you want to have there. So I created an example here.
Nice.
I just made a portable little caddy of all the kinds of supplies that I might need to have here at my space.
Right.
So pens, pencils, clips, Post-it notes, stapler, whatever you need.
Right.
Don't put in things you don't, but look for what you normally would want to have, and have it something small and portable. So that you can have it on the edge of that workspace, whatever you've designated for that.
That's great.
The other thing that you want to think about is the chair that you're going to be sitting at. If you don't have a regular home office, or again, there might be two of you in the household. Right. Telecommuting, and somebody else, who gets the good office chair. you want to try to find the best sturdy chair that you can.
Right.
And again, these are all things that you can order online and get delivered, so you don't have to go out to the store.
Right.
Here's a back support.
Yeah.
That you can usually get from, if not an office supply store, I usually find these at my friends at the AAA travel store in St. Louis Park here.
Nice.
But a travel store often carries these because it's also a good back support for car driving.
Right.
I mean, this now you can kind of see how it's shaped.
Yep.
Where you've got a good lumbar support that's back there, because you're going to be in this chair for quite a few hours. So
right.
you're going to definitely want to plan for that.
Yeah, Louise, on some of our other podcasts too that we've done, we've talked about the command center, which is also kind of like a mobile filing box. I don't know if you have one handy there or not, but that's another tool that we've talked about this several times in the past.
Yeah, I that's a great point, John, because there are going to still, even though a lot of your work is going to be virtual or going to be digital, you're going to want to have some paper documents. So having that command center portable piece, the new one that or newer one that you guys came out with this past year, I think would work great. And then you can have the hanging files in there with your interior folders, with your projects. And be able to have that, because even though we have a lot of documents online, many of us are very kinesthetic, tactile.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So we need to write it out as we're thinking, and we have drafts of things, or we print out certain things so that we can edit, look at them, make marks, notations before we necessarily do it online. It's just part of our process. So I think having that as a just like the supplies, have a smaller version of that. You have a rolling rack with more files that you can access, but on the desktop, having something handy is really a great idea for sure.
Yeah. What about, Louise, what about etiquette things? How you might, especially like if you're at home and the schools are still closed or whatever, and how do you manage kids, and maybe you have to do a teleconference kind of like we're doing here? How do you kind of navigate some of that stuff?
So yeah, the communication piece here is really important in terms of the family and having good boundaries that are set out. So that might be the night before a work day. If you have a spouse, sitting down with the spouse and talking about, okay, what's your day like tomorrow? What's my day like tomorrow? Who can be managing the kids at what different times? If you're a single parent with kids at home, this will be a little bit more challenging. So you may have to enlist some help. And that might be screen time that you really
Yeah.
have to guess to been trying to limit, but if you know that's going to keep them, especially younger ones, busier. And then older siblings, caring for younger siblings again. I've seen 10 and 11-year-olds do great jobs with little kids, keeping them busy for half hour, an hour. The thing to remember is everybody's in the same boat.
Right.
So, you know, you may think, oh, what will my colleagues think of me if my kids are running past me in the background? Well, you know, their kids are probably going to be running past them too.
Right.
So I think that we all can be a little more flexible again
Yeah.
in this situation and realize that we're going to do it. But planning ahead is the key. So knowing ahead of time what you're going to do. And then you need to give that information to the kids.
Yes.
One of the other things I recommend is that you have office hours.
Yes.
Oh, we've got office hours. And I mean, let's post that.
There you go. Ooh.
This is. So the kids know, okay, I have break time 10:15. When the clock says 15, you can come, but you can't interrupt me before then, unless you're bleeding or something
Right.
tragic has happened.
Right. Yeah.
As we try to say. One other thing that I think is good, using headphones for your conversations and such, so that volume of noise is not distracting the kids to want to come and find out what's going on.
Right.
And if you're trying to focus on things and the kids have the TV on or are doing screen time and they're active, then maybe use some noise canceling headphones that really shut everything out so that you can focus on what you're needing to do.
Right. Well, Louise, this has been an incredible, I think, an encouragement for new timers. I was going to call them first timers. But now you actually do a lot of work virtually anyway. I mean, not only work from home, but work with other people virtually. Why don't you tell people a little bit about your services and how they can get a hold of you?
Absolutely, John. Thanks so much for that opportunity. Yeah, especially in this circumstance, I think working with an organizer virtually can help you stay on track, whether it's your work or whether it's your homework. Whatever part of your home you're trying to keep and your life trying to keep running well, I think the support of someone like myself, I work with folks where we set up phone meetings on a regular basis, or we can do them through Zoom or Skype or FaceTime as well, if they prefer to have a face-to-face kind of meeting. We set them up for a specific time. They call, we have an agenda. I did graduate this past year from the Coach Approach for Organizers program, so use some coaching along with that virtual organizing, which is to really help people get accomplished the things that they want to get accomplished and give them the value of my expertise of being in this industry for more than 27 years now, where I can cut short some of the time it takes for them to get things done.
Right. Yeah, it's incredible. Well, Louise, how do they get a hold of you again? You want to have them call you, or you go to your website? What should we have?
Whatever they're comfortable with, they can call me at, and again, this is anywhere in the country, or I guess internationally. I haven't done international clients yet, but that's a possibility. So 952-939-8080 is the number.
Okay.
Email me, louise@everythingstogether.com.
Yes, and you might have to change it to everythingstogethervirtually.com, the way things are going these days. But it's great to know that you and other professional organizers, are already kind of in this groove. And I think not only people think about, well, I need my stuff organized, but my life, productivity, and dealing with the changes that people deal with when they move into a home office. So this has been great. And I'm sure.
And John, even coaching people through the physical stuff, even not their hands-on, if somebody wants to sort through their closet and figure out what do I keep, what should go. I've got some great strategies around that, or going through other things that maybe you haven't looked at for years in the basement or garage or paperwork in the office. So there's a lot of flexibility in being able to help guide someone through that, even though we're not there physically with them.
Right, great. Okay, well, Louise, I think it's time for us to wrap it up, and we'll have you back again next time, right? And folks, come back here for our next episode of Keeping You Organized.